Okay, let's do it again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast. What's up, y'all? Another episode of Riffin with Griffin. Good to be here once again, and I want to thank you guys for sharing, subscribing, staying true, sending messages, because I really do appreciate it. And so, we here again, back at you with Riffin with Griffin. All right, that's good. Yes. I'm reaching over because, as you guys know, I'm a one-man show. One day I'm going to get a producer. And we're going to do it right. But anyways, thanks for watching Riffin with Griffin once again, listening, subscribing. I don't know how you get it, Spotify, Apple. I don't know where it all is right now. I don't know how it all works, but I'm glad you guys are here every single week. I do appreciate that, so thank you for that. Big week this week. I want to start it off by just saying, get out and vote, man. Today's Monday that this came out, so it's Monday for when you're listening to this, and it's, voting day. Maybe you've already sent your things in. Maybe you're going to the voting thing for Tuesday, right? Because I think it's the 3rd, right? Let's see, what's the date right now? Yeah, because today must be the 1st. So November 3rd. So let's see what happens, you know what I mean? But listen, no matter who you are voting for or what your beliefs are, make your voice heard. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, my vote doesn't count, it doesn't matter. I mean, it actually does matter because, you for yourself, you've put yourself in the mix. You said, hey, I want my vote to be counted. I put it out there. That energy of trying to be a part of the system, I think that's good. I think it's a good thing to carry down to, family, friends, loved ones, neighbors. If we, it's like a collective feeling of like we are a part of something bigger than ourselves, which is, being in this great country. So go out and vote. I get a lot of people that hit me up. It's like if you say, it's crazy to me because like if you say anything bad about Trump, for instance, the Trump supporters, they get super angry. They're angry people, even though you're in the White House. Then they write you back with just rude, ignorant comments. Like they think that that's what's going to get it back, even though they're not. You won. Your guy's there. Your guy's in the White House. He's been in the White House. He's doing whatever has been doing. So to be so angry about it, I don't get. And then the other side is just super sensitive. So either way, that's what I'm saying. So I'm not here speaking about my own personal, what I want to do. I'm just telling you what I would like you to do is no matter who you're going for, no matter what your beliefs are, get out there and vote. Just be a part of the system. So, because, remember in the last election, 2016, it was like, oh, there's no chance this guy has to win. So if you're anti-Trump, make sure you get out and win. Get out and not win, get out and vote. Because, you can't listen to polls. Don't believe CNN. Don't believe MSNBC. Because they were all night, they were telling us there's no way this guy can win. This is impossible. And now it's just, they were just flabbergasted because they're basically useless. To me, they're like critics, polling people. Like who's these people on these polls? How do they know? How is it accurate? Is it an online thing? Or like, are a million people going, oh, this? Or they're deciding by how many people do they actually poll? I mean, you ever asked that? Like, I had this talk about critics a couple weeks ago. It's the same kind of thing where I don't understand polls. Unless it's some kind of like online poll and you could see, 3 million people did this poll. And then you could be like, oh, well, that's a pretty good indicator. But sometimes it's like, oh, it's out of 20,000 people. This is supposed to be some indication that what everybody thinks. So I don't know. So it seems pretty spooky to me where these numbers and stuff come from and with all this stuff that goes on in the world. So I don't know how polling works. So don't trust the polling. They say Biden's up by eight points, whatever that means. But who knows what's going to happen night of when people are voting. And then you have the Electoral College. Then you have this is going to be a mess, So either side, if we have a strong turnout in voting, at least we'll have a better indication of what people want. If we get 80% of registered voters to vote. That'll be more than it's been in many, many, many years. Because listen, we're going to have to deal with are all the votes being counted? Is the mailing safe? All these things that it's just being set up for just a big mess that this election won't be decided for. It could be, who knows how long it's going to take for the actual election to be like, all right, we finally have a winner. So who knows? But just my big thing on that is just to say, hey, do your part, get out and vote. Even if you think it doesn't matter, I say it matters to you. It matters for you being your own collective well-being, just being like, oh, I'm a part of this. I'm here in this country. I pay taxes. So go out and do that part. You just get out and vote. So I encourage everybody to vote. So please do that. Whew. Okay. What else is going on? So last week I had this big, I just was talking about the coronavirus and the charts and the numbers and just trying to figure out like what this all means. And I got some messages. I said, send me messages. I said, send me comments, write comments, whatever. Some of the comments are rude, It's just some people don't listen to everything that I say because they just want to pick one part and then send me a really stupid message like, you're so ignorant. And then they say exactly what I said later in the video, but that's the only part they wanted to watch. So it's like, if you're one of these people, if you're not trying to have like a healthy back and forth, why even send me a message? I don't care about you. If you're going to come at me with some negativity, kick rocks, man. Don't listen to my podcast. I don't give a fuck, okay? I just don't. You can leave. If I lose you because you want to just be a rude, ignorant asshole, then go ahead. Then, you could there's plenty of podcasts. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of people to listen to this one anyway. So why are you here being one of the negative people? All right, so forget that. I give too much attention to trolls as it is. People always tell me that. Why are you talking about the trolls? You know what? Honestly, though, just real quick, let me talk about the trolls for a second because they have nothing else. I'm doing them a service. Look, the good people, you guys are here. You don't need pats on the back all the time. And I always say thank you for subscribing and sharing and thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. But the haters, man, they have nothing. Their life is meaningless. So they go on to somebody's podcast. Just who am I? I'm just a regular dude. I'm using this media format. You can too. It doesn't matter. Like, you could make a podcast and have people listen to it. So they go on and then they just want to like, troll. They want to say rude, mean comments and they think that like, yeah. And so I am acknowledging them for them because that's what they need. I'm doing a service for them. I'm giving their life meaning. So when you're trolling me and you're saying rude things about my girl, you're calling me names, and I acknowledge you, I know you need that. You need it because you have nothing else. So, hey, congratulations, But anyways, back to it. So last week I was talking about the coronavirus and I was just showing the charts. Of course, uproar in the comments, and I got emails, messages. I just want to clarify again, really what I'm talking about. I don't claim to understand how all this works. I don't think that there is anybody that I know, just a layman who is just a regular person who would say, oh, I understand how coronavirus works. I understand how these charts work. I understand how you can read the numbers. I understand why some places have been open and some places aren't. You could claim you don't know, man. Most of us don't know. And so when I look at the charts, all I was basically saying is, regardless of population, I'm just saying the coronavirus looks like it's doing the same thing in a 40 million state like California and 25 million state in Florida or Texas, like the big places. The charts seem to look the same. It started here, it went up, and went down, and now it's going up, and it's higher than it was before. So all I'm saying is, if the virus is doing the same thing in multiple locations, and you go, all right, so what do these things have in common? You look at one and you go, well, this state's been open the whole time. The other state's been closed most of the time. Or, whatever. And you go, well, the virus seems to be doing the exact same thing. So if that's the case, why are the places that are closed if it's going to do the exact same thing? That's basically what I was trying to get at, And then right now, recently, you hear a lot of like, the cases are rising. There's more and more people seem to be getting it. We're not being safe enough, or the protocols aren't being followed. And I am an advocate of that. I hate wearing a mask, but I think you should wear a mask. Look, I hate wearing a seatbelt. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, but you do it because it's for the safety of you, yourself, and others. So listen, I say again, I'm not trying to put out some message like I'm anti-information. No, it's just I'm trying to find out, why are we doing what we're doing? Why is California closed? Why is California closed and say some other place isn't? And the virus doesn't seem to be doing anything more or less than other places, but then you would say, well, look at the numbers more closely. So some of the people that hit me up, and it's so interesting to me, is like scientists. I had a couple of scientists hit me up, and wow, I really appreciate intellectual types, you listen to my podcast for whatever reason. I'm not a scientist. I went to college. I didn't finish. I went into entertainment. I started working, and, my dream actually is to go back to college and get a psychology degree. Anyways, but that's besides the point. So I do appreciate you brains hitting me up, and you're trying to like educate me. And, one guy was like, I was really disappointed in your take. I get it, but, I'm trying to clarify what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about, as a person that I don't understand how this thing works. Like, why are we doing what we're doing? So, and the scientist people, they're ready to tell me, they're ready to be like, let me come on your show and I'll explain it to you. And what they don't understand is, how funny is it that it takes a scientist to explain? Like, that's what they don't seem to like. They need to register that, oh yeah, like I actually am a scientist. I study this. I've actually been a part of this. And here I am, angry about, what someone who doesn't know is just talking about, just trying to use common sense. So common sense doesn't always work in situations where there's facts and information that, you don't understand how it works or how it connects. That's the same thing with this coronavirus. Like, we can make assumptions, but I'll give you an example. It's like, in the NFL right now, Cam Newton for the Patriots, the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots, right? He actually got the coronavirus. And since then, he's played like shit. All right. He just has been awful. He couldn't practice, but, he was sick. I'm not saying it's because he got coronavirus why he's playing like shit. But I'm saying, is that a factor if you were studying? If you were trying to track and see how the virus affects people, would you use that as an indicator to be like, well, here's a world-class athlete, about to be 30 years old. He got coronavirus, and is he still playing at world-class athlete status? There's probably some other people that have gotten it that went on to do, but there's an example of somebody who's not playing the same. I'm not saying it's because of coronavirus. Let me say again, but is that some information that you would put into play to try to be like, how is this thing affecting people? Because it seems to affect people in many different ways. Some people have no symptoms. Some people have flu symptoms. Some people, they lose their smell and taste. Other people, they have headaches. Other people have cough. Like, there's all these different symptoms, and then they're still trying to figure out how it affects people afterwards. So what I'm saying is this evidence that it has an effect even on someone like that? I don't know. Here's another one. Ezekiel Elliott, the starting running back for the Dallas Cowboys. I think people forget that he had coronavirus before the season started, and he's playing like shit right now. He's not playing the same. But, what are those factors? He is older now. Running back, the shelf life for running backs is very low. It just could be the wear and tear on his body, and now he's just breaking down. Or could the coronavirus be a part of that? I'm not saying that that's what it is, but it's some evidence that you look at. But it's one of those things where you go, I don't know how this works. I don't know or understand. All I know is this is a confusing time. Now, let's talk about this, what I really am frustrated about that's going on right now in society. What's going on? Like, do we care about health and safety, really? Like you're sitting here and you're listening, and you could be one of these people who's really adamant about, we need to do better with coronavirus. People need to wear masks, people social distancing, and you want to count all the deaths. You want, look how many people have died. You want to count that, and you want to make that the most important thing. But damn, do we really care about this? Because collectively, it doesn't seem like we do. Because you look at like baseball. Okay, so here's an example. Money's on the line. So anytime there's money on the line, it seems to me that like how we treat the coronavirus is completely different. So the baseball, okay, let's go. Actually, let's start with basketball. Basketball was like, hey, let's have a bubble. because it's the kind of thing, they have a schedule. They got to play 7 games in a series. They want to get all the games done, and they just don't want to have to stop games. They don't want to have to forfeit games. They don't want to have to move the schedule. They just go, let's make sure everybody's clear so we can finish the season. They did it. They finished it. There we go. No fans in the stands. The basketball, which is predominantly black sport, had the microscope on them, and they went into a bubble and they finished their season. I think hockey finished their season too. I'm just not a hockey fan, so I don't want to speak on it. So I don't even know if they crowned a Stanley Cup champion. But here's one thing I do know: nobody was talking about it. Nobody cares. You know, it's weird that if that happened and I didn't know about it, because I'm usually a sports person, you go, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, the Stanley Cup's going on. So it wasn't publicized. I don't know if they canceled games or anything like that. But the NBA ended up not having to cancel games. They finished their seasons. They had a few people that had some hiccups along the way, and then it went on, you know? All right, so then you have baseball started, you know? Now, baseball they said, we don't care. I mean, look, they may not have said that, but that's what they said. They said, we are taking a risk versus reward assessment of playing the Major League Baseball season without a bubble. We're taking the risk. We feel like if people get sick, we'll just postpone games. If people get sick, they'll take them out. Most of the time, it's a lot of social distancing in baseball, and they just said, we're going to go. They went on the season. There was a certain point in the season where they had canceled 40 games. No one was talking about it. Nobody cared. It just was one of those things where, you know, the season went on. Some people got sick, and that was the end of it. Where's my phone? Because there was that, you know, and so they finished it and they crowned a World Series champion. But even in the World Series, that one player got sick. Let me see. Let me get his name. I'm looking it up. Dodgers coronavirus. That's all you got to look up. Justin Turner. So apparently Justin Turner, this guy, during the game, I guess he had taken a test beforehand. They got the results. Who knows when they actually got the results? You know, it's the World Series. You know, if you had to ask the guy, hey, do you still want to play? Yeah, play. You ask his teammates, hey, should he play? He might have, you know, maybe they would have said yes. But by the way, just a side note, people need to be protected from themselves. That's why you have laws and rules. That's why the governors go, hey, we're closing the state down because we're trying to protect you from you. Because if it was up to us, we would just be willy-nilly, which seems that people are willy-nilly anyway. So anyway, baseball goes on. So this guy, Justin Turner, he's celebrating with his players. He has his mask on. He takes it off. He kisses his wife. But his wife, if he has corona, his wife has corona, you know. So they deal with that. So there's this big, uproar up to do about it. But I don't think anything's going to come of it. It just is what it is. The guy tested positive. Why are people getting mad during the World Series that somebody in baseball had the coronavirus when they decided all season that they don't care about a bubble and they don't care if they get it or not? So the World Series comes, a guy gets it, and everybody's like, oh my God, what are we going to, how can they do this? I just feel to myself, it's a little disingenuous at this point. Like all they cared about was money in the first place. They got their TV money. They got their revenue. They even had people in the stands. You know, they even had like all social distancing in Dodger Stadium, the outdoor stadium, or wherever they were doing it in Florida, wherever it was. You know, they had, there's people in the stands, even in the football games. You see like half capacity or even like a third capacity. There's people out there. You just kind of go, all right. You take a risk reward assessment and you decide, is this okay? So here's where we are. But my problem is people use numbers to their own advantage when it suits them and their argument. And if we're just going to use numbers, I got a problem with that. Because one, they're trying to open up theme parks. Again, the Major League Sports with fans in the stands are going. They got college football going. Kids aren't even going to real school, but they can play college football. It's like all that makes me feel like they don't care about health. They care about money first. All right. And again, you take a risk reward assessment and decide, is this worth it? And and you have to ask yourself, what do you care about? Do you care about the numbers? Do you care about these deaths? Or do you only care about the death because it's political, because you feel like you're making some kind of point because we're so divided as a nation. All right. So listen, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. I'm not going to I'm not a huge fan. I have my own reasons, I'm not going to go into them here. So I'm not a fan of his kid either, like the way he was talking, right? So his kid, I think Donald Jr. or whichever one, comes out and he says, he got real lambasted for this because he said something like there's the death toll is practically nothing. And he didn't say practically nothing, but whatever he said, he did he did imply that yes, people have died, but it's not as many deaths as you would think. It's meaning that there's an acceptable number of deaths, that he thinks, well, this is okay. If this amount of people die, this is this makes it okay, So here he is right here. He said almost nothing. Those are the words he used, So then somebody came up and said, well, over 1,000 people died today, whatever day that was. 1,000 people died that day because of the coronavirus, and so they were on him like, you don't care about these 1,000 people? So I'm asking you, what's the number that you honestly don't care? Like, here we are, the world is in uproar, in upheaval. The United States, financially, this is ruining people. Okay, it is. Depression is up, suicide is up, divorce rates are up. Like, all the things that are direct because of having to be quarantined and having the stress of not knowing if you're going to be able to pay your bills and all that stuff. So there's this effect. Not to say that, that means that, hey, we just open up willy-nilly. No, I'm not saying that. But you have to acknowledge that there is an effect. But I'm asking you, like, what's the number that you care about the most? Because that 1,000 people that died seem to be, like, politicized as being like, oh, well, you don't care about it. This guy doesn't care. And I ain't defending this dude. I ain't defending him at all. All right? But I am bringing it up to you listeners, the people that are listening, the people that hate him and hate Trump, the people that, are, the coronavirus, we got it, all the stuff you're talking about, the coronavirus and what we need to do as a nation. And all you mask people, wear your mask all the time. And do you seem to put a lot of energy into the coronavirus, which is fun. I'm not against that. But ask yourself, what's the number that you kind of still go, well, life should go on? Now, you may say, well, there is no number. I think you're lying, So this guy just said, look, hey, 1,000 people died today out of 350 million people in the United States. Okay. Is that enough to say, well, we should still keep everything shut down and not reopen the country? Is that the number? I don't know, I guess if I'm being honest, I go, all right, I guess we all could take a risk-reward assessment and be like, I think that we should open the economy back up and deal with the consequences of whoever gets sick and doesn't get sick. It's just a new normal. People are going to get COVID. That's a feeling that I'm sure a lot of you have. And it's an unpopular feeling for some people. But those people that think it's unpopular, you're using these numbers. So over 200,000 people have died from coronavirus in the United States out of the 350 million, however many Americans we have. I think it's almost close to 400 million Americans, right? Okay, so I looked something up and I want to talk about it. So the coronavirus, these deaths in the coronavirus, they would go under the category of preventable deaths. Preventable meaning your choices and actions that you made, you could have prevented getting corona and eventually dying from it. Okay? Preventable death. So I looked it up and I was like, well, what are the other preventable deaths in the United States? And what are these numbers? And my question to you is, as you're listening, do you care? Because if you're someone who is like, especially you scientists that like to hit me up, you want to hit me up and you want to talk about how serious this is and the coronavirus is so serious. Okay, I'm not saying that it's not, guys. I'm not. But I looked this up, and And a lot of this information is from the World Health Organization. All right. Annual number of death causes. And this is preventable deaths. Preventable deaths. The number one on the list, guys, 210, between 210 and 448,000 Americans, just in the United States, die from medical errors in hospitals every single year. Let me say it again. 200,000 to 400,000 people die every single year because of medical errors, human error. Does that number move you? Does it make you want to go, whoa, we need to reevaluate the hospital system? Does it make you go, whoa, are doctors going to school enough? Should there be more oversight? Does that number move you, or is it a number that makes you go, well, human error is a part of things, and these are, although they were preventable, we have to accept that, and we have to just, I'm still going to the doctor, I'm still going to the hospitals. It's just a thing you have to deal with. Is that a number? Is that how that makes you feel? How does it make you feel when I say that to you? That almost 448,000, at most, almost 500,000 people die from hospital errors every year. Number two on the list, okay? Number two on the list, hard numbers. Smoking tobacco. 435,000 people die every year from smoking-related illnesses. Do you hear what I'm saying? So tobacco, and that's a preventable death. Because if you don't smoke, you're not going to get these things. So right now, we're up to almost 1 million people are dying from preventable deaths. We're going to add the corona. So if you add the corona into that, already that's going to be 1 million. But does that move you? Are you moved to tell people to stop smoking? Are we going to move to shut down tobacco companies? Are we going to what are we going to do? What are we going to do about that? Is that a number you care about? 435,000 people die preventable deaths. And it tickles me because it doesn't tickle me. I'm saying, I didn't say that right. When I say it tickles me, it just bothers me that I see people on Twitter and Instagram who smoke and they want to talk about wearing masks and they want to talk about what we should be doing for coronavirus. Ad nauseum, they want to put up tweets and posts and if you would just do this, we wouldn't have this, problem with coronavirus while they lighten their cigarette. Shut up. Okay? Shut it. Hypocrisy. Here's another one. Number 3 on the list. Being overweight and obesity causes 100,000 deaths. And some of these other lists I looked at, that number is even larger. No pun intended. And, obviously there is a difference between obesity-related diseases and other things that come, from being overweight. I mean, it's more complex than just being like, hey, people are dying from being fat. I mean, it's more complex than that, okay? But the point is, it is in a category of preventable deaths, just like corona, preventable. So if we eat right, take care of ourselves, I bet you a large number of that would go down. And I'm a part of that. I'm trying to do that now because of that. But what I'm saying is, does that number move you? Do you not care about these 100,000 people? Or do you only care about coronavirus? Alcohol, 85,000 people die. Infectious diseases, traffic collisions. They have all of these different types of things that are preventable. But the two that get me the most is smoking and, smoking. Well, 3 of them, being overweight, smoking, and medical errors in hospitals. I'm just saying, all this energy that a lot of you are putting out, all this energy about, you want to like talk about the coronavirus. Like, oh, are you putting out that same energy about people not smoking? The leading cause of death in the United States. That is the leading cause of death in the United States. All right. I don't hear you talking about that. Let's, so I'm just saying, tone down the rhetoric. Those people have made a choice. And that's what we're saying to ourselves. Do we care about the 400,000 people who are dying from smoking? I would like to say, I think I care. But then there's a part of me that goes, well, that's the choice that they made. They made that choice, right? Now, obviously, people are doing that to themselves. They're not spreading, except for secondhand smoke and all that too. I would love to look up those numbers and see how much secondhand smoke is killing people, But but those people are dying and it's causing stress in people's families too, People, we have to worry about heart disease and we have to worry about lung cancer and all these things that are a strain on your family and their emotions and feelings because you made a choice that you said, I need to smoke. So, you have that. But I'm just saying, if we're going to use the numbers, all right, then let's talk about all the numbers. Let's talk about having a better world all the way around. But I don't want to just hear about these 200,000 people that have died of corona that's the most important thing in the world to you right now. Because we are living in a world right now where we're seeing things. Look, baseball completed their season. There are states like South Dakota who they say the numbers are rising in South Dakota, but their governor does have, they're not mandating that you wear a mask, I'm saying there is a risk reward factor that we have to decide where we really are in this and look at a bigger picture of what's going on in our world and our country and really look at it and be like, what do I really care about? Because don't throw out the 200,000 Americans that have died of coronavirus. And that is like making you go, well, we need to do more when you're living in a country where over 1 million people every single year die from preventable causes. I just want to put that out there as something to think about. This does not mean I'm saying we should just open up willy-nilly. I'm for masks. I think that this, obviously there's other factors that go into how an infectious disease spreads and how it's different from these other things. But obviously, if you're saying if we would have worn masks, if we would have social distanced early, we could have taken the curve down and we could have beat this thing. Therefore, because we didn't do that, it is preventable. These were preventable deaths. So we're going to add that to the list of already 1 million people, preventable deaths. But, you want to everybody wants to run their mouth as if the coronavirus is the only thing that we should care about in the world. And it's not. So again, I ain't defending Donald Jr. at all. But when he says, hey, it's practically nothing, the death rate, whatever the words he used, when he says that, and you hear today 1,000 people died, just knowing if you want to look at numbers, look at all the death numbers every day, and you're going to be like, oh shit, let's start caring about our world all the way around. Not just this, especially not just this because it's political. It's politicized. I want this same energy after the election. I want this same energy about us being a safer community, a safer United States. I want that to be the thing you talk about more than just this virus. Because this is going to be going on for a while now, guys. I don't care whenever the vaccine comes out, there has to be trials for that. And I hope they don't just rush that out because of public pressure. I hope, you have to ask yourself too, are you going to take the vaccine if it comes out? At what point do you go, oh, I think that they've done enough, so I think that this is safe. Like, at what point are we going to be like, I think we can take our masks off and get out into the world and be normal? When is that? When is that going to be? And will it ever be? Is this how it's just going to be, that we're just going to be walking around, keeping our distance from people, What's the world going to look like? And whatever it's going to look like, it's going to take some time before we really get back to like the nitty gritty of normal, whatever that is, everyday life. So anyways, I know I'm still going to get messages from people and I do appreciate it. Listen, I'm just having a dialogue with you. But you just can't hit me back right away. And I have no problem with you hitting me up and being like, yo, this is how I feel about that. Just come at me with some respect, man. Don't come at me with your nonsense. The two scientists that hit me up, I truly appreciate you guys sending me very, very long, very nice emails explaining their side and their point, and I appreciate it. And I hope that I've clarified what I'm talking about right now. But I just want you scientists to talk about, because scientists like to say, hey, we told you about this. We knew. This one guy hit me up. He was like, one scientist was like, hey, we knew in February we were shutting down because we knew that this was a serious thing, because they're in the know. They got the knowledge. They're scientists, okay? I do think that sometimes scientists take the doomsday approach too, though. They have a doomsday outlook on things, and I don't know if it's always as bad as they think it's going to be, and it's always not as good as the pessimist thinks it's, as the realist thinks it's going to be, or whatever you know what I'm trying to say, So I appreciate you hitting me up. Continue to hit me up. We can just have a dialogue, and then I can I eventually would like to have a couple of these geeks on the show to ask them some questions, because I don't know, man. I remember watching Joe Rogan's podcast, and I don't know if I don't remember, but he had a coronavirus guy on. The guy was just talking about it, and he was convinced that it was going to be 100 million people were going to die, and he just had a weird, I don't know. I don't know if he said die, but it was like a gloom and doom outlook that made everybody watching that go, oh man, I hope this guy isn't right, But not all scientists have been right in the past. They made predictions and it didn't work out. But hey, they have to think for the worst. That's part of what they do. They have to think a worst case scenario, and let's prepare for that. So, anyways, that's my little spiel about that. So again, continue to listen, and like I say, I would be more than happy to take emails and questions and that kind of stuff. If you have a statement you want to write, just be respectful, and then I'll talk about it. You know what I mean? I'll be like, hey, this guy said this, because I am not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just, this is how I feel about it. And you could be like, you know what? I agree with some of that, or I don't agree with this, and this is why. That's how you should hit somebody up, because that's how you can have a dialogue with people, man. You can't just be like, you idiot, and then spew off the things that you, you know what I mean? It's like, why would I interact with you? So, yeah. All right, coming up next, Rachel's back, and we're just going to yip yap for a little while, and I hope you enjoy. Peace. Hey, guys. Thanks for listening to Riffin with Griffin, and I just want to talk to you today about Lucy Nicotine. It's a company founded by Caltech scientists and former smokers looking for a better and cleaner nicotine alternative. Finally, tobacco alternatives that don't suck. Look, the product was researched and developed for 3 years to be made for people, not patients. Lucy has created a nicotine gum with 4 milligrams of nicotine that comes in 3 different flavors: wintergreen, cinnamon, and pomegranate. Pomegranate's favorite flavor. I wish, if I was a smoker, this would be the flavor I would go for. Lucy also has a lozenge with 4 milligrams of nicotine and a cherry ice flavor. Each and every flavor actually tastes great. And it's convenient and discreet. Products can be enjoyed anywhere, on flights, at work, on the go, even at the gym. Hey, look, I don't smoke, and I don't like being around people that smoke. It stinks. Their breath stinks. Their clothes stink. You ever been to somebody's house and they're a smoker? It just has that smell. Or you ever been in a smoking room at a hotel and you just go, ugh, what is that? It just makes the back of your throat hurt. It's just all together. It's terrible. And it's not good for your health, And that's why these Caltech scientists came up with this in the first place. Listen, guys, it's 2020. Get rid of your cigarettes. Unplug your vape. Throw out your dip. And get loose gum or lozenges. This is the real deal. A subscription to Lucy comes directly to your door each month. It's so simple, and you don't have to leave your house because Lucy has delivery down. Riffin with Griffin listeners, go to lucy.co and use promo code Griffin to get 20% off all products, including gums or lozenges. That's lucy.co. And use promo code Griffin at checkout. Also, look, I have to give this disclaimer. Warning. This product contains nicotine derived from tobacco. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. But remember Lucy.co and be sure to use promo code Griffin. Let's get back to the show. You looking at yourself?
Well, I can't really see myself that far away. But crossing my fingers. Hope it's okay.
It's fine. Are you still nervous doing the podcast?
Yep.
Why?
Because you rush me.
I'm not
everything's
rushed.
last minute. I just got off work, showered, and now I'm you're waiting on me. So
I'm not waiting
here.
on you. Oh man.
You asked me, I tell you the truth.
You're right. This is a truth-telling podcast. You can tell me the truth. I like it. It's fine. Are we going to play footsie? We're both barefoot.
You don't have to say that.
Oh, so it's okay for you to reveal stuff, but when I reveal what I want to reveal. So
Okay.
we had a good Halloween the other day. I can't show the pictures of Rachel's complete. She had 2 costumes for me. It was really nice.
Yeah, a costume for me and a costume for you.
Yeah, she wanted I don't know why you wanted the maid.
I don't know. I just thought you keep saying you want me to clean up. So
Yes, I would like you to clean
I got
up
a little
more.
maid's outfit. And I was going to clean up, but we didn't get to that part.
Okay, remember your
second
parents watch
outfit.
this.
The second
Okay.
outfit was from your favorite movie. We watched the whole series, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with that movie too. I didn't read all the books. I read the first book back in the day, but I just got a little, what's her name? Harry Potter's girlfriend.
No, see, it's not. See, this is where I wish she would have done her research.
Okay, I just
So
said
she was
I
trying to be Hermione.
Hermione.
And do the
And
accent? How are you doing it?
I was like, hello, Ron. But then he didn't want to be Ron.
Yeah, I
so,
didn't want to be Ron.
Okay, Harry.
I wanted to be Harry, but then you had
You
to be.
didn't have a scar on your forehead.
Well, we were going to draw that in, but you needed to be Jenny if you were going to be Harry Potter.
Okay, so I'm Jenny.
You were Jenny, and then I was Harry. If you were Hermione, I would have to be Ron. Even though I think Ron and Hermione would have been better together, but she didn't write the books like that. But anyway, the costume, I actually like that costume better.
Right, but
You had a little tie. It was cute. It was
Yeah,
sexy.
thank you.
And we won't go into
I love
details.
Halloween, but I love dressing up. So
You love holidays. You always say every holiday you say is your favorite holiday, but you say Halloween is your favorite holiday.
well, I love them all for what they are.
So let's talk about this first. So I get a text from your mom today.
Okay, well, we have to back up.
Okay, go back up.
So today,
Back up a little bit.
it's Sunday night.
Yeah, there you're fine, rich like that.
And so every Sunday afternoon, we do the Zoom meeting with my family. I couldn't be there because I worked today.
Yeah, Rachel's at work.
So we have a family group chat, and for some reason Eric is in it, but he doesn't get the messages.
I don't get the messages.
That's still kind of iffy.
You want to see my
weary.
phone?
I don't know.
I don't get the messages.
Okay, so he's a part of it, but he doesn't get the messages. So I thought it was a safe zone to be like, okay, you were going to be on the Zoom call. I knew that. And so I just texted them right before the Zoom call saying, maybe help Eric come up with a proposal. And then I misspelled all of these words. So then I sent another text saying just help him plan an engagement.
Nobody said anything. Like that Zoom, not one person said anything.
Okay, so
that makes me feel like they don't want me to marry you.
there's a part of me that also felt that way.
Like not one person said anything about it. I'm bringing this up next week, by the way. Because
I was just hoping they would do it without me on the call.
Right.
Because I don't really want to be involved, but I want to be involved.
Yes. Yeah. You say you don't want to be involved, but you want to
so
very much be involved.
then you said my mom texted you.
Yes, my mom texted you with here's an idea for you, and I was like, oh, okay, that was kind of strange. But I thought oh, well, this is like the pressure coming from all sides. Like, it's time. Here's some ideas. Get it cracking. But now that I know that you asked everybody to do it, not one person said anything.
Right.
Everybody was all whatever about it. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
don't like me.
They don't like you. Maybe they don't like me. I don't know. But we don't care. I don't care.
We don't care.
I don't give
if anything, Riffin with Griffin fans, maybe you can help Erik come up with a proposal idea.
Yeah.
I kind of want to be surprised, so don't tell me.
Wait a minute. Now you want to be surprised?
Yeah.
You don't. Oh my God.
This is as surprised as I'm going to get.
She does not want to be surprised. Okay, so tell me, like, what are some of the ones you just absolutely do not do this?
Well, it's hard because since it's coronavirus still, like, it's still kind of weird to do anything in public.
Right. But you don't like public anyway, right? Is that what you always say that?
Yeah, I mean,
so you don't want an audience. You don't want an audience.
No. But at the same time, I do want it, like, recorded. So maybe find someone to record it.
You don't want an audience, but you want it on TikTok.
I don't know what
I don't want an audience,
but I want an audience. But I want you. Okay.
All right. So no, you don't want it in a big crowd. So like at the Clipper game, out.
Yeah, that would be too embarrassing. It's like being put on the spot is definitely like. I mean, I know it's like putting you on a spot type of moment, but like.
Yeah, but not with like thousands of
like
people.
I'm just not good at like being put on the spot.
Okay. So you wouldn't want it in public.
So like any type like a Clipper game, like any type of
like you wouldn't want it to be on the Jumbotron. No. Rachel, will you marry Erik? You wouldn't want it on there like that. That'd be terrible.
Not for me.
I guess I don't. That doesn't appeal to me either, though. I mean, I'm a fan
because like I just could imagine my face and what it would be doing, and
that's all you would be worried about. She'd be looking at that. Does my hair look like that? You proposed to me with my hair like that? Rachel always talks about this part on it right now.
I have.
But by the way, it's not straight. So I'm telling you, so you're not.
Well, you told me while on camera. How embarrassing! Like as we're recording, your part's not straight.
No, it's good now. You fixed. You did something different with it.
I have a widow's peak, is I think what it's called, and
I think I have a weird thing like that right here too. I think that's what that is.
So it just I think it's also a calic right in front that like my hair like won't be exactly straight.
Oh,
but I mean, I just need a hairdresser, Erik. That's what I need.
Oh, anything else, princess?
No, but if you're gonna be on camera.
Your mom actually gave a really good idea, but I'm not going to tell you what it is since you want to be surprised.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to do that, but
I mean, I told you last night, but like, I was talking to my cousin Amanda, and she gave me some brilliant ideas of what her friends have done.
Right.
And my favorite, what was a dolphin engagement.
A dolphin?
Yeah, so they went to like Disney World or like SeaWorld or something like that where you could like swim with dolphins. And then when they went out, each dolphin had a letter or like a poster maybe saying like, "Will you marry me?"
It sounds like Peter would be furious about this. Well, now, so that's out, but that's now out.
I know.
Because if I say to you right now,
SeaWorld.
If I say to you, Rachel, we're going to SeaWorld, you're going to be like, "You're going to propose to me!" I'm stuck where I can't take you anywhere right now.
Okay, well.
No matter where I go, you're like, is this it? Is this the proposal?
I'm just saying that was my favorite proposal of like what I've heard so far. Do you have any good ones you've ever heard?
No, they're all just, it just doesn't matter. They're all just grandiose. It doesn't matter like hot air balloon or, the sky riding, a lot of them like on vacation or something like that.
I mean, did you go to prom?
I did go to prom.
Because I think that's the same type of thing. Like, when the guy asks the girl, like, to prom and then they make that big, like, gesture.
Oh, right.
Proposal.
Oh, that's, you know what? I never did that like that because I went to an all boys school. So we had to go we had our sister schools. And so you just kind of had to know who you were going to go with. It wasn't like you could do it at school where you could be like,
See, I never went to prom. So I never had that.
Well, that's because you were dating somebody who was like older than you, right?
Right.
He wasn't allowed to be around high school girls.
I mean, he was only 3 years older than me, but you make it sound like I dated old guys.
Well, I mean... Not back then.
Not back then.
Yeah. So so you never, but you took him, didn't you still take him to prom?
I mean, no, we didn't go to prom. We went to winter formal, but we didn't go to the dance. We just like went out in a limo with all my friends first, and then during prom, I think we just went we did our own thing and went skydiving.
Skydiving. Well, see,
I almost like
romantic.
blanked that out of my memory.
Yeah, that sounds romantic though.
It
Well,
actually
okay, but-
was very romantic until another guy is strapped to your back.
Right. Oh yeah, that's true.
And then you're like, oh, what about my...
That happens wow, that is kind of, yeah, that's not good.
Weird, yeah.
That is weird.
And then...
So like he's like looking at you like, I love you, baby, while another man's on you.
Well, you're not even really looking at them because like you're going down at separate times. You have to jump down after each other. Like you don't go at the same exact time.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
You have a lot of weird things like that. That's like that one guy.
I do? I never even noticed.
Think about that one guy who like got a couples massage for you guys. And so instead of him making a move,
oh yeah, that's true.
he brought another guy over to the house, and then he, so two masseuses came over. So another guy's touching you while he's laying. It's like, doesn't even make any sense to me.
Well, I mean, it's about having fun, I guess. You can't worry about the guy.
That guy was a weirdo. It doesn't
like,
matter. He's not with you anymore. He lost out. Tell me this. You've been proposed to before, though, right?
I've been proposed to a lot without a ring. I've also proposed at one point as well.
How did you propose?
Just drunkenly.
So romantic. little vodka tonic, and you were like, I want to marry you.
I mean, I was with this guy for like 5 years,
Yeah.
and I was at the point where like I wanted him to propose, but he didn't. So I was like, I'm gonna do it.
Did he ever propose?
No.
Oh, I've never proposed.
He always never wanted to get married. I should have like.
You should have known.
I should have known, but at that time I was like young, and I was like, I'm not getting married either. At least not to that guy.
So he proposed. Who else proposed? I remember we talked about this already. The army guy. He proposed. How did he propose though?
Over text, obviously.
Ooh, another keeper.
And then
Who else proposed?
There's a few other guys.
Wow. See, it's all coming out right now. Oh, back in your Hell's Angels days?
I mean, I was in my prime. Everyone wanted to lock me down, but I was searching for the perfect man.
And you found him.
I found you.
Yeah, you were supposed to say that. I shouldn't have said it. I'll let her say it. But we all know.
Well, I'm trying to lock you down.
You're locked down. What are you talking about? We're locked down. Okay, you gotta.
This is lockdown.
You gotta. What is it? A promise car.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm not in a rush either. You could take your time if it needs to have like a year's plan for this engagement.
I just wanted to I wanted to marinate. I would love some suggestions. You know what I mean? If people because I have already gotten them. Some people have said, "Oh, I did this, I've done that. You should try this, Griff." So I don't know. Maybe some people got some good ones out there. But I would like the female out there to like send what they, because like guys is gonna be like guy stuff.
Well, what's guy stuff?
Guy stuff is like at the Clipper game, or it's like some kind of like.
But there's no Clipper game going on.
But just that kind of like.
Oh, so or like in that little. Okay, so imagine the game going on, and those bubbles, those squares that people could put their face in.
Oh yeah.
So you're gonna do it on there.
We're not gonna do it like that.
Okay.
Okay. I already know we're not gonna do it like that. But see, the thing is like I know you, so like I say, when I say she don't like surprises, she don't like surprises. So it's like I don't. So it's like I need to like know ahead of time. Here are 3 or 4 things that you really like, and then we have to make sure the ring is like, because if, let's say, because I know how you're going to be. If I do something that it's like too much of a surprise and you don't like it, you're not going to like that because you're already going to be dealing with if you like this ring or not. If you like the ring or not. So that's going to be.
Well, that's stage 2.
The
You
fake
don't think
disappointment of
about
that.
that until you have it on your hand and you're like looking at it.
How would you even know? You've never even had a ring on your finger before.
I've worn rings before. Never
Okay.
a diamond ring.
All right. From a guy. All right.
No, never a guy.
All right, well, we'll figure it out. So, guys, send some ideas. Ladies, guys out there, send some ideas for that. I'd love to hear that. Okay, so the other thing is, like, we're going to talk about is, so...
Bachelorette.
The Bachelorette, yeah.
Ooh.
Rachel and I watched The Bachelorette, and it's bananas, right?
Yeah, okay. First of all, let's admit that you never wanted to watch The
I never wanted
Bachelorette
to watch
from the first place.
I don't like those shows.
I don't even like those shows. I've never watched the full series of a Bachelor
Me
show
neither.
either.
You know what it is for me is I reject the premise because
Yeah,
right
same.
because
Yeah.
it seems to me it seems like you're
Like, why is everyone fighting over this one guy and like they're
or
all
this
kissing?
one girl. Yeah, they're kissing everybody. I'm
Yeah.
like, what is this?
Ew.
How do you find love in this? And I don't even know. Do you know if there are a lot of bachelor or bachelorettes that have stayed married like this long? I don't even know.
honestly don't know, Eric.
Because for me, I think more people stay
We
together.
just admitted that we don't watch it.
No. But I'm saying is I would like to know how many relationships are actually still together from The Bachelor. Because I think that there are more Big Brother relationships probably than there are Bachelor relationships. Because the people that go on Big Brother, they meet, they have this shared experience. And then after the show, they end up dating. And then because of all that shared experience, then they end up getting
Yeah,
married.
because they have something other than love in common.
Yeah, they had this all the
That makes more sense.
they experienced that 90-day whatever it was that they experienced.
But they're not necessarily going in for a
looking for
relationship.
love. Right. Well, anyways, so you got this girl. She's 39. Apparently, she's been on the Bachelor numerous times. She was like one of the finals, and then like apparently she like rejected the guy or it didn't work out, and now she's there. Now I talked about this on my own because you were like we couldn't do it the other time, but at first I thought I don't like it because just if I'm being 100, I thought she was too old, right? And not that she's too old so much as like she's too old and these guys are too young. But now I'm starting to realize she's just too insecure.
Yeah, sometimes it takes years of lifetime experience to even be secure enough in yourself. Sometimes it takes people a while to be secure with their body, with their emotions, with, even just being okay with like even dating someone who your friends or family might not like, but you like.
Yeah.
And like that also comes with like a lot of times with like different races and different religions with people and
Just
like,
different, just a broad spectrum of different types of people. I get it.
Yeah.
Well, this, like I say, so she's on here, and one, I don't think she respects the process, which is so astounding to me ridiculous to me because she's been on the show before, so you know how it is. So she comes on the show, this one guy gets out of the car, Dale, and she's already like, I think I've met my husband.
Well, he's like the type A man. He stepped up right away out of this whole group of how many, 31 guys?
I don't even know how many
like
guys.
that.
Too many guys.
And he's the manly man. He's the one taking charge. He's the one
I think there was other guys
a lot
doing
of
that.
women respect in the fact of he like she was crying. He came over to.
But hold on. That was way after. I'm talking about he got out of the car and she was like, I think I met my husband.
Okay, that was a little extremely weird.
That's what I'm saying. She don't respect the whole process. Like, okay, I understand if you have a connection with this guy, you feel like, but she's not even allowing herself to have a connection with anyone else. She's actually, to me, being rude and disrespectful to these other guys.
Yeah, I totally agree. But there's also that aspect of like love at first sight.
Which I reject.
When you know, like that feeling in your stomach when
Which should be ignored.
someone you.
I'm just saying.
I'm just also saying that
I get it.
like you have to listen to your body as well, and like
Okay.
sometimes you're sexually attracted to someone, but you shouldn't be with them. And maybe that's this guy Dale, you know?
Okay, listen, I totally understand that. All I'm saying is you're on a show. Like, you're on a show that needs to go, 20 weeks. Like, you're on a show that you have to, like, go through this process with the roses and meet people. And she, from, like, episode 2, she's already, like, on camera saying, oh, I wish this guy was Dale. I wish I was with Dale, not this guy. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you doing? I think they're replacing her. I think they kind of teased that they were going to, like, okay, she's out and they're going to replace her. Because these other guys are picking up on it. They're like, what am I doing here? I'm leaving my family. Okay, so then.
Okay, well then, there's also the part where she came here for love. She found love. So if that's what it is, congratulations. She did what she came to do, and great. So now there's all these other guys though, and yeah, they should have a replacement.
Okay, here's the thing though. She didn't find love. She just found an infatuation.
For now.
She just found an infatuation.
You can't judge someone's love, Eric.
I'm judging that woman. I'm judging it because she don't even really know him. He don't know her. She don't know him. And for her just to be like, oh, this is the one, like that just negates the whole process of actually falling in love, of actually getting to know someone and realizing that your strengths and weaknesses, their likes and dislikes. You can't just meet somebody that walks out of a car and be like, this is the one. You have to prove it.
I think not that I watch a lot of the show, obviously, but I think within the series, they like bring them home to their family and then they go to her family and then
I don't know.
They kind of meet their friends and stuff.
Yeah, but she's not even.
And
but this isn't.
We haven't gone to that
part. No, they're not even going to get to that. They're replacing her because she's already ruining the whole process. All these guys are like, why am I here? So then they had that one guy who was completely out of line. He was actually out of line and right at the same time.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? So then she did. I talked about this. We could talk about it too. Like she did this like strip dodgeball. Okay.
I hated that.
So she's having the guys play dodgeball. Then they had to take their clothes off. And you're the one that brought it up to me. Rachel says to me, like, can you imagine if like the guy bachelor made all the bachelorettes take their clothes off? Like it would just never fly.
They literally played strip dodgeball.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. They had to blur everybody's junk, I was like, so anyway, one of the guys, I forgot his name, really, first of all, he was starting trash from the beginning. Because remember episode 1, he was like telling this other guy, hey, I know you were dating one of my friends and I think you should say something to, and so he brought it up to the girl. To the main, she brought it up to the bachelorette, like, hey, this guy, it's like, what are you doing? Why are you starting stuff? So then he sees this and he says, well, this is crass. I would never play that. I think it's low class. My daughter's watching. Okay. All right, dude. I get it. I agree with him. All right. But then he goes to her and he like tells her off. I expect more from the oldest bachelorette ever. He's saying that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, you can say your piece respectfully. You know what I mean? But I just thought he was out of line.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. I guess I saw that way. I guess I said it all. Yeah. The guy was just out of line and he had to go home. Then she's crying. And that's when your boy Dale stepped in like, I got you, girl.
Like, I wonder if it kind of looked and sounded like he was already on his way to see her before he knew she was crying.
No, I think they heard it was like a big commotion. But I don't know. I feel like they're gonna replace because they showed some girl getting out of the pool in the last episode. It was was
awkward.
Yeah, it was awkward. Like, are they replacing her with like? What I found was funny was like, okay, so she's white. Not that it matters, but she's white, and like half the guys are black.
Yeah.
One Asian guy, and now it looks like they're gonna replace her with a black girl. And it's like I wonder how that's gonna play, even though it shouldn't matter, but that's kind of things do matter. Like you wonder if these like
Well, there was actually this one time that I applied to a matchmaker show, and
the truth comes out. All the stuff that we're doing. All the stories are all the real stuff that's coming out.
This was years before I ever met you. It was probably when I was 21, and I did this audition. I didn't like go further than this little meeting that I did, and she asked me. She's like, "Would you want to date black guys or white guys? Does it matter?" And I was like, well, it doesn't matter. And she's like, okay, well, the next person for the show is a black guy. Do you want to be on it or do you want to just pass? And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to pass. But so like that
so
is.
your racism came out finally.
Well,
no.
I mean, obviously I'm dating you and you're black, but I'm just saying like that's how they do it.
At the time they were like, hey, but you know what though? Everybody's got a preference. And just because you have a preference, it doesn't mean you're wrong for having your preference. I mean, sometimes people are attracted to the things that are around them. Like if your mother and father, it's like you're Jewish, you know. I'm sure your parents were like, I'm sure your mom would have wanted you to be with some nice Jewish boy. You know what I mean? But like, it sometimes it doesn't work like that. But also sometimes that's what's around you, so that's what you go for. You know, you go for people to look like your dad. You go for people to look like your mom. You go for these different things, and that comes to like what they actually look like. You know, I guess we should take more time to actually get to know people, but sometimes people don't do that.
I mean, yeah, now that I think about it and say that out loud, like no one should ever like say that. Do you want someone
exactly
what color skin do you want them?
Even presenting it to you was actually wrong because then it puts you in it puts you in the frame of being like, well, what do I want?
Yeah,
is that important
it's like,
to me?
Yeah, obviously what I chose wasn't even what I like.
Yeah. So that was weird. So anyway, I don't know what. But anyways,
anyways,
I don't know what's going on with The Bachelorette. You know, so we'll keep watching to see. But it's just so. And I say this to you all the time when we're watching. I'm like, it makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is uncomfortable watching her.
Watching her, it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, there's like she gets annoyed and gets upset every time like they don't all jump at the chance to like be with her, but in that scenario it's really hard to like be that person to be like, oh, she's ready, okay, now's my chance to go, whereas like
just the things
you're just going with the flow kind of.
But even some of the things that she says and how she says it and how she like operates, it's just it just I don't know. I think she's like, sometimes I feel like she's not there to actually find love, but she's there to finally feel like a princess. Like, finally, everybody's looking for me. And that's not, to me, that's not good energy.
Yeah.
Right?
In that case, she should have just been on a dating app.
Yeah, just Tinder, just swipe.
Yeah.
Because that's what she basically did. She was swiping when the guys got out of the car. And she swiped right on Dale.
Well, that's kind of also what they were saying was like they've kind of been talking on social media before the show because
they don't know for sure, but yeah.
Okay, well, whatever. If you know that this person's going to be the Bachelor, Bachelorette, would you have sent them a message?
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Possibly, yeah, just to kind of get a heads up, like, what's up? You know I'm gonna be on the show, girl.
Yeah, like some picture. Exactly.
Yo, I see you on Wednesday, boo. You know, maybe he did do that. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, my other show that I like to watch, and Rachel sometimes likes to watch, is Big
Brother
All-Star. Yeah, they got us every time. The guy changed it every single. Sometimes it's like, welcome to Big Brother. Then he would go, Big Brother All-Stars. So the season's finally over. The guy that won the first HOH competition, Cody, he actually won.
Cody was great.
And he deserved to win, right?
Yep. He was great.
He won numerous competitions. He maneuvered his way to the end. And I'm glad that the jury wasn't bitter and they respected the game. And he won 9-0, which he should have. Mm-hmm. Now, the girl, Nicole or Enzo, like Nicole, if she had won that last HOH, and she says she wouldn't have done it. But the only way to me she would have won is she needed to kick Cody out. Whoever kicked Cody out was going to win the Big Brother.
Yeah. I mean, I like Nicole. She's very likable. There's just something about her attitude that she's like, she makes it a little fun.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of hers the first time around when she first won. I didn't think she deserved it. But now that I see her play, how she played the game this whole way, she played a good game. She got all the way to the end. But like, okay, so I only started watching Big Brother like maybe 5-6 years ago. So Cody, this guy that won, he came in second place on his original season. And he said that he lost because he was loyal to the guy that won.
Right.
And so when the people were like,
he was
well,
kind of like the Enzo to him.
Yes, exactly. So he knew he was going to make the choice. I'm kicking out the person that I'm not going to play loyalty game. I'm going to play the best chance I have to win. And Enzo was the best chance. Enzo had no business being in the final two. And that's why Cody beat him. Yeah, that could have
been anyone.
Yeah, it could have been anyone. You know what I mean? But he deserved to win.
I don't think he deserved, but like Enzo,
No, I'm talking about Cody deserved to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even though Enzo gave a good ending speech, I thought maybe are they going to vote for it? But no, he didn't even get one vote, and they knew. Like that consolation prize of him getting $50,000 for second place. I think the whole jury was like, that $50,000 is enough for you because you skated your way all the way to the final, so you're here. Yeah, so Big Brother was fun this year, but it was kind of anticlimactic and boring because nobody made any big moves. The guy that won, he won the first competition, he won the last competition, and he should have won, and he did. So hopefully next season, it won't be an all-star. Excuse me, we just had some dinner. Hopefully the next season will be like exciting. People make some big moves, and Rachel will watch with me from the beginning. You just get bored of it.
You started watching without me, and I just...
Oh, excuse me, miss. Watches things without me all the time.
Okay, what else are we talking about?
I think that's it for this time. We went through a lot. I'm always glad when you're on the podcast, my beautiful lady. There was a lot of good comments last week after we talked to the people about...
Last week I wasn't on.
No, I mean the one that you were on, we had good comments on.
Good. I don't look anymore.
Yeah, it's best not to look. She doesn't look at the comments anymore. But Rachel will be on, as much as she can be. And I appreciate you guys watching Riffin with Griffin. Make sure you go to the Riffin with Griffin store. You can see that on my website. I see it's all in the links, and everything's on the links down below if you want to be on Patreon. Rachel and I are going to start doing other little mini episodes, which will be Patreon only. I'm doing my real world advice for a grown ass man. I'm trying to make that separate too. I don't know. I'm still working it all out, but there'll be another episode of that on Wednesday. So make sure if you guys have one of those, look out for my Instagram post. That's at Erik Griffin. That's going to be tomorrow too. I'm going to do my Instagram post, and then I'll be answering all those questions on Wednesday. But please continue to share, subscribe, and follow, watch, listen, send comments. I appreciate you greatly. Anything from you, Rach?
No.
You have nothing? No goodbyes to the fans since you have like 2 or 3 fans?
Goodbye to you.
Love you, baby.
Love you.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching.